Today, I am announcing my campaign to be your next governor.
Joining me now is the chairwoman of the House Republican Conference and the #3 ranking Republican in the House. We're honored to have Congresswoman Elise Stefanik joining us for the first time on The Balance. Thanks for joining us, Congresswoman.
Great to be with you, Eric.
So tell us what you think the fate of Andrew Cuomo will be and should be. Let's do it that way.
I've said Andrew Cuomo should go to prison. I was the first elected official at the federal level to call for an investigation, to call for his resignation, and to call for him to be arrested. This is one of a number of crimes that he has committed. He is a serial sexual predator, but also he has committed crimes of corruption and, of course, the criminal cover-up of the over 15,000 vulnerable seniors who lost their lives during the COVID pandemic, who he forcibly placed into nursing homes because of the executive order in New York State, which did not follow federal law. So this is a criminally corrupt governor. He is disgraced. And for his attorney to claim politics, it's just outrageous. It's what Andrew Cuomo always does. But gosh almighty, we have turned this page, thank God, in New York State politics. The Democratic primary is going to be very, very interesting. It is going to be a run to the left, a run to see who can embrace socialism faster. And certainly Republicans have an opportunity to win back the governor's mansion in Albany for the first time in quite some time.
Great, great. And again, he blamed everyone. He blames everything. And as you rightly point out, we haven't even gotten to the nursing home scandal as of yet. Congresswoman, very importantly, Adam, on my radar, Adam Kinzinger, who I've called some nasty names. I guess he tends to cry a lot, but he's a rhino. He's not a conservative. He's a Republican in name only. Has decided not to run for that seat in Illinois again, likely because he was going to get smoked for the way he treated President Trump at the time and now. What are your thoughts about Adam Kinzinger stepping aside, running for Congress?
It didn't surprise me. You know, we are not entitled to these positions. We answer to the voters and answer to the people who elect us. I'm honored to represent New York's 21st District, but I have this position because I work for them. And when you become so out of touch with the people you represent, either you lose or, in this case, you choose not to run for re-election. So this was something that I predicted, that many of our colleagues in the Republican House predicted, that he would not run for re-election. And it's unfortunate that he forgot the people who sent him to Washington.
Now, what about the person you replace? Liz Cheney is going to have a tough time as well. Your thoughts on whether or not she can withhold or run and win?
I think that's an open question on whether she actually runs, Eric. You know, Wyoming voted for President Trump by a higher margin than any other state in the nation. Her approval ratings are in the absolute gutter. They're in the toilet among voters in Wyoming. And once again, that's because she's not representing their viewpoints. And these positions you're not entitled to, just like you're not entitled to serving as the House Republican Conference chair. You're elected by your peers with whom you serve. And when they no longer have the confidence, they make a change, which is why we made a change. Not only the House Republican members, but Republican voters across the country want a unified message focused on the issues that matter, which are inflation, all of the crises that Joe Biden has created, standing up for the Constitution, not the constant infighting and obsession with going against President Trump, which unfortunately my predecessor had.
And I will say, not only did the Republican caucus make a change in replacing Liz Cheney with Elise Stefanik, they made a serious upgrade as well. Thank you, Congresswoman. Appreciate your time.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.